Grief is universal.
It's something that can last almost a lifetime.
Unwanted and pervasive, and it can take over your mind, your body, your life, and for me it took over parts of my faith.
And that process can be very painful, and it can be very long, and it can be very tiring.
We don't realize how much we grieved. That it's not just death where we grieve, or loss of something. It's a loss of a relationship. It's a loss of innocence, a loss of time.
So I'm thinking, I have nothing to grieve because there's no one close to me has died, and God is like, you've had so much loss, and grief is about loss.
So I have gone through a grieving process, but God has been so faithful to see me through it.
I'm Kimberly Krieger, and I'm the founder of Few Publications and the Fellowship of Extraordinary Women.
It's a real opportunity and blessing to be able to comfort one another in grief, and that God also wants to comfort us. And I think that we have managed to hit just across the spectrum all of the different emotions that are felt and all of the different personalities that feel them.
It's okay to feel pain. It's okay to press into your pain. And most of all, to know that the Lord is near when you're hurting. That He's not the one who's actively hurting you, but that He's actually the one that's holding you.
And that's exactly what this devotional is for the women who wrote in it. It's an opportunity for them to use their pain to provide comfort for someone who is in the midst of grieving.
God never intended for us to stay stuck in grief. He had a plan and a purpose for each and every one of us. But if going through that grief was an opportunity for us to experience Him on a very personal, relational level, then that grief is all worth it.
Our tendency as people is to try to move away from painful things and to move away from painful experiences.
I do believe that this book is actually like a map that gives you a direction to go in.
There'd been a significant time that had passed since a lot of my grief, and revisiting it, as scary as it was actually a very healing process.
Telling your story, no matter how difficult, how tragic, or how traumatic, actually begins to heal you as the storyteller.
It was a direct answer to a prayer I had given to God.
Somehow in going through difficult emotions and in pain, I found healing.
Writing this devotional was actually very healing.
By co-authoring and writing some of the from some of the losses in my life, in the hopes that it would bless other people that are in their grieving process, I knew that God would use it to comfort those as He had comforted me.
And so I believe that this book will provide insights into how God meets us in grief, how God brings us even through denial and into a spacious place where He can love us and where He can teach us who He is and who we are in the midst of pain.
And for those who are blessed to read our book, A Few Words of Comfort for the Grieving, they are able to feel like they have a companion in their grief. Grief makes you feel alone. And they're going to open this book and they're going to see, not only are they not alone, there are 17 women who are there to walk them through this difficult year of grief.
They're real people with real grief, and I didn't feel as isolated, and I was able to dig a little bit deeper.
Grief affects all of us as human beings in one way, shape, or form. So I really think that this book is something that can touch every single person, and someone that every single person knows.